boys and girls, we are going to learn how to make an outer space painting using sponges today. Woot woot. Okay, so our goal today is to be conscious and wise of how much paint we're using. We don't want to create something that looks like this. See how it's basically all one color and we've used way too much paint. I would even say my example one, I may have used a little bit too much paint. Our goal is to create more like nebula type of clouds. So you still want to see the black of your paper when you're applying your paint, okay? So our first step when you get finished, it should look something like this. Let's start with a black piece of paper. Here we are. I'm going to turn it like that so you can see. Okay, so you have your paints in your cups. I've chosen to use a metallic blue. I think it'll look really nice. We have our sponge. They're tiny, but that's okay. You might get your fingers dirty, but there's no reason to have it all over your palm. Here we go. Take my paint, and I'm just going to randomly put it all over my paper, kind of like a squiggly snake. See how I'm just kind of swirling it? And I'm not pushing my sponge around, I'm dabbing it. And I'm spreading out what I've already put on my paper. So kind of like an S that goes all the way across, or if you want to think of it like a spider or spider web across your paper, that's what we're trying to do. I'm going back for some more. And go at the top. And I think that will be as much as I really need. So I only dabbed my sponge into my paint twice with the blue. Now see, some areas are thicker than others and they kind of spread out, but that's kind of what you want. You want it to look sort of like a cloud. Then I'm going to switch to another color. I'm going to do green. There will be other colors at your table. You can choose whatever you want. There we go. I think, okay, notice how thick that is. I'm going to wipe that off on the edge of my cup because I feel like maybe that'll be too much. Here we go. That's perfect. Okay, now I'm going to place that in random areas around where I've already put my blue. We don't want to completely cover our blue up. We just want little glimpses of this green on top of our blue. So see how I've done that? Now I have it randomly. It's not like one big glob. Then I'm going to take my sponge and just kind of blend that out a little bit, always dabbing, never pushing my sponge. So let's try it. La 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 la. So gentle. Dab, 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 dab. Here we go. Okay, and then maybe some out here. I think maybe these little black areas are a little bit lonely. Just a tiny bit, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that looks so nice. Okay, so see how we got this? Still can see some black. Let's see if I can pull it up. You can see some black shining through. At this point, we can use a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of white. The white sort of acts like stars. So we're still using our sponge. We can still use this dirty side. You don't have to flip it over. I'm gonna dip it down in there. And with this one, you definitely should wipe it off on the edge of the cup. So I don't have very much. Then like before, I'm just gonna place it in a few areas all over. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back and just barely dance my sponge on top of it. Like so. Not a whole lot, just to kind of spread it out just a tiny bit. Okay, from here, I think we're good. Which it'll look better once it dries. And there's a glare from our light, but that's okay. So it looks really cool, right? Okay, now this is the fun stuff. I have dun da 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 some glitter. This acts like stars and stuff like that. here you can, let's flip our sponge over and use this side because we don't want to add any more color. So here we go. Dip it down. Ooh, that looks so cool. All right, then we're just adding that, still doing our spongy jumps all over. We're dabbing. This one you can use a little bit more since it's clear. All over our paper. Oh, it's gonna look so good. I'm so excited. Make sure that we're sharing with our friends, like always. Trying to be nice and kind to our neighbors. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be amazing. Here we go. I think I'm almost finished with the glitter. Oh my gosh, so pretty. Okay, put your sponge. Obviously, our little fingers are probably dirty. Leave that in your tray in the middle of your table. Let's see here. Look how beautiful that is. Now at this point, we can go in with a little Q-tip. You'll have them at your table. And dip that down into the white that we used before. And you can kind of put little dots all over your paper. We want to keep them really tiny. But those can act like little stars. Right? We don't want to put too many because it'll get a little too cluttered. I would even say we can maybe do a star shape. Just like when we draw a star, so we just kind of flick and make an explosion. We can do that in a few spots. Don't do too many though. Ooh, maybe one more down here. What do we think? Really cool? I think so. See, that's super easy. Follow along. It might take you a tiny bit more time, but I think you guys are gonna be great. Awesome. See you later.